okay? I'm just trying to keep an eye on him. Look at it, it's getting a little bit more intense. I'm glad we've got them taped up because she can inflict some damage with those jaws. So we'll just keep an eye on it. What is going on with Lola? Hi, sweetheart. Well, I've just taken some electrical tape and I've made a very gentle wrap around her little nostril, around her little jaw. Because what we're going to be doing today is we're going to reintroduce Guapo and her. Now, Guapo has never been aggressive towards her. I'm going to keep an eye on him, but she's always been the aggressive when it comes to Guapo. Guapo, come here. What I'd like to do is reintroduce them because I'd like him to start having more room again. It just is more fun. I'd like to open this cage up. So let's go ahead and pull these two together and just kind of keep track of what's going on. And this is one of the safer ways to do this because she's not going to be able to bite him, which is important. Now, I may have to put tape on him, but we shall see. If anything weird happens, I will definitely step in and stop them from doing anything. In fact, just preemptively, let's just do a nice, easy... You see what I'm doing, guys? I heard about this technique a long time ago from a reptile person. I can't remember who taught me this or who told me about this. So it's not on tight. You can see that. And I just want to see how they behave. So this is one of the ways I think that's going to make things safer for us when we get these animals together. But you can see right now the head bobbing, that's part of what they do to communicate. They will also open their jaws to communicate, but the problem is that she gets way more aggressive. And after him having such traumatic injuries this past summer, I don't want to open him up to any more stress than is necessary. So here we go. Here's the first introduction. She's trying to bite, but she can't. You see this? She's not happy about that, but it is what it is. So, oh, she's trying. She just can't do it. And this makes me happy. So we'll just see. It's similar, I think, when you have a sulcata tortoise and the two tortoises are always constantly ramming each other. If you flip the aggressor over and over and over again, eventually it realizes, hey, I'm not winning this fight. And so that's why I'm just kind of seeing maybe if we continually do this kind of introduction, it will be a way to make sure that she eventually loses interest. She can still get her tongue out, which is good. So she can sense him, which is important. You see this? Look at this. She's trying, but to no avail. She cannot bite this guy.
Thank you to all our loyal Patreon members out there who have helped to create an amazing reptile community online with us. This week's shout out goes to Paul Bridgers.
So very cool, a very simple situation, but one that with these powerful jaws of the cyclura iguanas, they could do a lot of damage to each other, as testament by the scarring that we see on Guapo. But you see how good he is? You see how really good this lizard is? He's not trying to hurt her. He's in a nice chill stance. That's just incredible. You know what I mean? He's such a good lizard. And these guys, you know, they have grown up together. But for whatever reason, she's always been a little bit of a jerk to him. I only had successful breeding once with these guys. So it stands to be honest, I should probably, you know, just separate them permanently. But I can't do that because I need the space. We don't have another enclosure for them. And it's such a large enclosure, it's hard to justify her just alone. You can see she wants to get that off of her little nose there. But that's not going to happen, lady. That's not going to happen at all. So I just want to kind of keep an eye. Look at this. She's trying to rub it off. Again, she's well fed. She can breathe. She's just going to get annoyed. And this lizard is completely fine. In fact, let's just peel that off. See what he does. Perhaps if he just dominates a little bit, it'll show her she can't mess with him because he is the male here. So let's see. But over the years, you know, she has removed digits, which is not uncommon with Cyclora doing that to each other. But, you know, I prefer that not to happen. I know you're annoyed, but again, we're just doing this as a deterrent and not a permanent situation, clearly. Come on, you gotta be a good girl. Can't be mean to him. So already, I gotta be honest, who knows? This is kind of an early, I mean, it's happening as you watch. I don't know if it's gonna take a couple of introductions like this to where we just kind of put a little tape on her and keep doing introductions and just leaving them together longer and longer. That may work. Who knows? But for the time being, I'm liking this. Hopefully we get to the point, we'll let them do their thing, but hopefully we get to the point where we have a situation like these two, where they are extremely calm with each other. The only time that she really gets kind of aggressive is when she's defending a nest. So that's good. Here's our male rhino, Petro. Haven't seen him in a little bit. Hi, buddy. He's healed up just perfectly. And this is a classic Cyclora submissive pose. Look at that beautiful coloration right in there on his head. Just a beautiful animal. Beautiful, beautiful spines. And when he's draping the tail down like this, that's a submissive pose. That's letting you know that he's happy, that he's okay with you touching him. If his tail was erect like that, that's a problem. That's an annoyed lizard. So it's good to read the body language, and that's exactly what these animals give you, body language. Look at that. Look at her, look at her spines, just gorgeous. Look at this beautiful critter. I love it. I wish that Guapo and Lola could be more like you guys, you know? And if we look on this side, I want to just look. I don't think we can see the scar that much anymore from when he got the injury. Yeah, barely there. See that? Barely there at all. So he healed up very nicely. So minor injuries for him. More catastrophic ones. Oh, where are you going? Where do you think you're going? We don't want them to get in here. She will fight with the other female and the male. So no bueno. Now, how are these two doing? All right, he's doing a head shake back. But he's such a good lizard. Look at this. My goodness. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. Yeah, she's not happy. She does not like sharing her apartment. Clearly. But you know what? Sorry about that, lady, because you got to learn to share again. You got to learn to share again. We just don't want these two being separated for that much longer. It's kind of a bummer having him in there, you know what I mean? Like, I want him to have his big enclosure. He's a good boy. And he allows me to scratch on him and love on him. And it's funny, they've never bitten me or been aggressive to me in any shape or form over the years. They've been with me since 2004. So these guys are 21 years old, and they still have plenty left to do here on Earth. Let's see what she's gonna do. Do you see how good he is? Oh, look at, she's going for the toes. Trying to get at him in any way possible, so she's a little sinister. She's a bit sinister. The other thing I can try doing is actually taking her and putting her in the other enclosure. So if I keep her in the other enclosure for a while, he'll establish himself in here. She'll have to reestablish, and she may become a little less aggressive. So that's another thing that I can try out. At this point, we're really trying introductions because I do want them back in here together. I'd love to be able to put that new bird-eating snake in this enclosure. And I really want to tear it all out, redo the whole thing, and create a really cool snake habitat over there. But look at how, I mean, if you could read a lizard's eyes, she is just not happy. She's frustrated. Why can't I bite him? But it's not like an overly ramming aggressiveness, but all it takes is one good bite from her, and boy, he could have a nice scar, and we don't want that. Rascally reptiles right here. Rascally reptiles. This is what we do, friends. Let's go look at this enclosure, discuss it, because our friend John from Palm Beach Colubridge did offer us a beautiful snake. I would want to pull out all the rock, and I would have to pull out this backboard, okay? Take this all out. And then I'm going to want to do a backdrop that the snake cannot get behind. But we still need to keep water in there. I'd love to put some bromeliads in here, some natural, some live plants, things like that. That I think would be amazing. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get maybe a panel from my friend Stuart at Universal Rock, maybe with some of the wood panel, and then I can affix different ledges to it, different branches, and then get the bromeliads and things like that growing. I think that would be really, really cool. You know, we'll of course use our Fluker substrate. We'll get more of our repta bark here as the forest floor. It would be nice to have a small palm in here for shade, maybe a misting system up in here during the dry season. These are all the things that I've been thinking about, and I really want to do this enclosure correctly. Also, because I've had electric coming through here, I'm going to want to shore that up so we make sure that the snake cannot get out. Very important as well. We have another electrical outlet or hole there. Make sure that everything is dialed around this entire enclosure. Sometimes things fall from the trees in hurricanes, hit the wire, causes the wire to ripple in a way, and if you're not careful, the ripple could be large enough that a snake could pass through. So you got to be very, very careful and make sure that everything is up to code for snakes, if that makes sense. But yeah, it'll be an interesting endeavor to pull all this out. Let's get this empty this rind out of here. We were feeding watermelon not long ago. Just chuck that. But I think that'd be cool. Now what's happening here? Still the same thing. Still the same deal. My gosh. As soon as I take that thing off, she's gonna go nuts. I wonder if it's a situation where I just leave it on, leave them for a while, and then when she stops paying attention to them, that's when you know it might be safe to remove the tape. Definitely gonna want to give them a little more time together and document this just to see what the heck they're up to. Right now it's just a lot of head bobbing, a lot of posturing, but we know that she would go for it if she could. She can be quite the bruiser. Again though, it just shows you the temperament of Guapo. She just cannot get in at him. Look at this. Oh, she's starting to work it. She's getting a little bit open, you can see that. Maybe she's able to open that up a little bit more, I don't know. But the solution also could be to remove her. Put her in another area. I've also heard that you could take them both out and then keep them apart and then reintroduce them to where this enclosure then becomes a neutral territory, if that makes sense. All kinds of things can happen here. But the most important one is that he is not going to get injured. So it's a safer way for us to do introductions. I still feel the need to be around because she could potentially slide that off somehow, or it could start to stretch, in which case, you know, I don't want her to get any kind of purchase on him at all. And, you know, it's good to be the referee in these situations, even when you think you've got things dialed. Because as we know, with animals, anything can happen. I also don't want him to get fed up and chomp on her. such a good guy. Just trying to get away from him. Yeah, she's nasty. She goes for those toes. She goes for the toes. Anything she can get on. I wish he would fight back a little bit. So frustrating. Tail, anything she can kind of nibble on. Now you can imagine what a fully open jaw could do. Man, it sucks. It just sucks that they're like this. I'm gonna keep giving him some more time. Okay, as I do, I get an idea and I just start to execute. So what I've done is I made a hide here, a little cave for the cyclora. Clearly these two are still chasing after each other, but we've got a Fluker heat mat in there. I'm gonna get a little bit of electrical wire, extension cord, and I'll plug it in and maybe put some rocks over that cord. But she's still got her tape on. And I don't know, guys, I might do some visual barriers in the way of plants to kind of block them, because, you know, she sits up there. Maybe if I can block her view, she'll leave them alone. I don't know. There's also an idea I have for this, which I'll get to here after lunch. I'm going to stop for lunch. This has just turned into a little bit more than I bargained for, which is kind of cool. I like creating new enclosures. I love this stuff. Look at this. She's chasing after him, but we're still just kind of watching. And like I said, I'm probably gonna pull her out. I'll pull her out for a few days and then try the reintroduction with the tape and see how it goes. But there's still a few more things I want to do. Here's of course Petra, okay? And I'm just trying to keep an eye on him. Look at it, it's getting a little bit more intense. I'm glad we've got them taped up because she can inflict some damage with those jaws. So we'll just keep an eye on her. Very cool. All right, let them work it out. I'm gonna go grab lunch. I feel confident with that tape. I'm gonna go grab something to eat and stop at Home Depot, and I'll be right back. So I'll see you guys after lunch. Be good. Well, things have seemed to calm down here. You guys see that I went ahead and I got a nice bamboo partition, and I used some bamboo that I had laying around here of an old fence just to cover up that gap. But now we've got a partition between the rhinos and the Cubans that'll create less stress. We've got her relaxing at the moment. She's still got some tape on her face. And of course, Guapo's up there. So we're just gonna leave them to relax for a little bit longer. And it's gonna be an overall process, if you will. It's gonna be a few days, perhaps a week or so, of just really checking in with them and making sure they're okay. I'll of course separate her to feed her, then bring her back in here. We've got the cave, by the way, which I'm digging. I want to get a plant in here, maybe some kind of shrubby palm or something like that, create more of a visual barrier. And then of course they have this area, she's got that area. This will have a heater in it. Once I plug it in, just got to run the extension cord. No big deal. Overall, something that just came into my mind and I threw it together. I'm glad to get these guys back in the enclosure together. And I will for sure be updating you guys as to what's going on. And I want to shout out my friends at Fluker for the Reptibark. Love this stuff. It just makes the enclosures look good. And the animals seem to love it. All right, everyone, there you go. That's today's video. Hope you enjoy it and wish me luck with these two. Who knows? Maybe we can get them back together again. We'll see you guys again real soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.